Isa pong magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Tayo po ay darako na sa pagbabahagi ng salita ng Panginoon at ang topic po natin ngayon ay may pamagat na with the mind of Christ, you will never feel alone. John 16:32, I am not really alone. Jesus, the Father, is with me. Having the mind of Christ means always being aware that God is with you. We see this in the life of Jesus. Jesus lived in the presence of God and stayed connected to the favor of God. No matter how busy he was, he stayed in tune with the Father. Jesus said, I am not really alone because the Father is with me. This is why the greatest antidote to loneliness is thinking like Jesus. When you have the mind of Christ, you'll be able, like him, to say, I am not alone because I know the Father is always with me. When we feel alone, it's often the result of not living with the mind of Christ. We're not aware of God's constant care. How can you always stay aware of God's constant care? One way is through prayer. Jesus made prayer a daily habit. Jesus would often go to some place where he could be alone and pray. Sa Luke 5:16. Notice this verse that Jesus often slipped away so he could pray. You can't just do that every now and then if you want to have the mind of Christ. Okay? Jesus' prayer life was continual. He made it the priority of his life to be with his Father. It was a habit. Do you stop and pray throughout the day? Do you think your day would go better if you develop this habit? If Jesus felt the need to slip away and pray throughout his day, then think about how much more we need it. When you don't take the time to talk with God, you miss the gift or the gifts of God. It's not God's will for you to be busy for him. In fact, you will get more done in every area of your life if you take the time to stop and pray. That doesn't seem like it should work, or that doesn't seem like it should work. If you're always stopping to pray, how are you going to get more done? You're going to have focus. You'll be able to focus your mind and heart on what matters most because you're taking time to let God's Spirit remind you through prayer what your purpose is. Jesus Christ knew he was and what his purpose was. He was always aware of God's presence. When you get the mind of Christ, you'll have those things too. You'll always be aware that God is with you. Ito po yung mga katanungan. It may take some planning for you to make. It may take some planning for you to make time for prayer throughout your day. How can you adapt your schedule so you have margin? How can you change your mindset so you are more flexible and more likely to allow time for more prayer? Who can help keep you accountable in your prayer habits as you work to develop the mind of Christ? Does prayer with God have to be scheduled or last very long? Why or why not? Sadya nga pong napakaganda yung pong nabasa ngayon. With the mind of Christ, you will never feel alone. Sa magandang hapon po, pagpalain kayo ng Panginoon.